Kicking off the top tonight, a very busy day for law enforcement and first responders here at home.
That's right. And on Capitol Hill, an historic day of arguments for and against the impeachment of President Trump. To Viter, a bank robbery from late this morning. In Beaumont, police are investigating a drive-by shooting as firefighters responded to a truck fire at a gas station on Dowland Road near Phelan. And in Washington, that marathon debate on the merits of impeaching the president.
Megan Firamuska, this is the woman charged in connection to the death of missing Austin mom Heidi Broussard. Broussard is originally from Lake Charles. Firamuska faces charges of kidnapping and tampering with a corpse.
Heidi and baby Margot Carey first went missing December 12th. They were last seen dropping off her son at school. And just in, a medical examiner states Broussard was strangled. Investigators say they found the body of Heidi Broussard last night in the trunk of a car owned by Firamuska.
The baby was inside the home unharmed. ABC's Trevor Alt has more on the investigation.
Life in prison. Life, the sentence for a man who was 14 when he admits to killing a young Beaumont mother.
Corey Spencer pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and aggravated robbery. Prosecutors say he was the trigger man. 12 News reporter Rachel Keller talked to the lead prosecutor. Time is not on your side. Just 5 days until Christmas. Still lots of shopping to do.
Better hurry up about it. Turns out if you waited this long, you could still catch some deals. We're connecting the dots for Super Saturday.
If Oprah's my auntie, I think Michelle can be like, I don't know, my big mentor or something like that. Yeah, something like that. She's so dope. She's launching this Instagram TV series, Kelly. It's called A Year of First, and it focuses on 4 college students who are getting ready to go through their freshman year. She says the goal is to highlight how students handle the stress, the money, relationships, mental health. This is going to debut later in January, ends in June after their semester wraps up, and I think this is amazing.
I agree 100% because, I mean, think about it. You're coming out of high school. A lot of high schoolers aren't even 18 when they graduate high school. They're still 17 or just turned 18. And it's like, it's so much pressure. You know, a new schedule, a responsibility. Mom isn't there to wake you up. Who's going to cook your meals? And, you know, it's great that she's stepping up to serve, as you said earlier, a mentor.
A mentor. What do you think about that helicopter parenting I was talking about, though?
Well, you know.
Now on 12 News, a court battle over an 11-month-old baby's life. Should the hospital pull the plug? We want to hear from you. Plus, let the good times roll. A look at preparations for Beaumont's Mardi Gras. And Julian Castro is out. A look at the 2020 presidential race. First tonight, a rainy evening in store for Southeast Texas. We have reporter Tyler Segeman in the Storm Tracker driving around, tracking out road conditions. We'll check in with him in a minute, but first we want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn. How much rain can we expect throughout the evening, Patrick?
Well, Eric, it looks like we will see on and off rains through about 10, 11, 12 o'clock this evening as another piece of energy starts moving our way. You can see we've seen a break right now. The heaviest activity off over into southwest Louisiana. That's really where the heaviest rains were expected all this round. As you can see, more light to moderate rainfall over towards our north and west, but nothing like over towards southwest Louisiana. As you can see, just some sprinkles out there right now in the triangle and in the lakes. We do expect this to fill in coming up later on this evening. Current temperature 60 in Jasper and the mid to upper 60s in the triangle. Futurecast adamant about keeping the rains over us this evening. Improvement coming up 9, 10 o'clock this evening, and then most of it should be out of here by tomorrow morning. Otherwise, our forecast this evening calls for about a 50 to 60% coverage this evening, going down to a 20% by 10 as temperatures go down to around 60 degrees in the triangle. More on your wonderful weekend weather in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Patrick. Now let's go back to Tyler. We know that all this rain can make roads really slick out there. Tyler, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Erica, well, the good news is the rain here in Port Arthur, where I'm at, is very minimal. It's maybe sprinkling, and I haven't seen many spots of road conditions or the roadways here that have shown a lot of water. I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can get a look at what the driving conditions look like here in Port Arthur. Again, I'm near Jimmy Johnson Boulevard, about to turn onto the feeder road here, heading north. Again, the rain, as you can see by the windshield, is not coming down at all. It's dried up in the past 10-15 minutes here. But again, like Patrick said before, obviously there's going to be chances of rain here later tonight. The Highway 69, looks to be flowing pretty smoothly as I get on it here. Haven't seen any accidents or any people getting stuck or having issues with the road. The conditions of the road, are pretty good right now as I'm getting on the highway. Not, distraction seems to be doing pretty well and sticking pretty smoothly. So if you guys are heading up towards Beaumont or driving around Mid-County looking for dinner or heading home, conditions right now are pretty good considering what the weather we had before. So I'll send it back to the studio with this report. But again, conditions looking good here on Highway 69 here in Port Arthur. Erica?
Thanks, Tyler. A court battle is heating up here in Texas. It involves a mother and a hospital fighting over whether baby Tinsley should remain on life support. Today, a judge said the hospital can take the 11-month-old off life-saving treatment. 12 News investigator Lauren Hensley joins us with more on this emotional ruling.
Erica, a legal battle continues at this hour after a judge denied a temporary injunction by Tinsley's family today. Baby Tinsley's family wants the infant to remain hooked up to machines so she can breathe and eat. She's been in the ICU for her entire young life due to a grave lung and heart problem that she had since birth. In October, Cook Children's Medical Center in Fort Worth determined that the medical efforts to help save Tinsley were only causing the baby more pain and suffering, saying that even changing her little diaper causes a tremendous amount of pain. Doctors told the family that they've been removing life-sustaining treatment, which sparked a legal battle. Today, Chief Justice Sandy Marion ruled in favor of the hospital. Tinsley will be giving life-saving treatment for at least 7 more days at Cook Children's Medical Center as a legal battle continues. The baby's mother, Trinity Lewis, issued this statement today, saying in part, she's heartbroken that the judge basically said Tinsley's life is not worth living. I feel frustrated because anyone in that courtroom would want more time, just like I do, if Tinsley were their baby. The constitutionality debate of this case could wind up being a landmark case for Texas.
Very emotional case. Thank you so much, Lauren. And we want to hear from you. Speak up, Southeast Texas. Do you support the hospital's right to remove baby Tinsley from life support? Let us know by voting on your 12 News Now app, or you can head to 12newsnow.com/vote. On a lighter note, Mardi Gras season is upon us, and this year it's in Beaumont. The first kickoff event is Beans and Jeans this weekend at the Civic Center. 12 News reporter Jordan James joins us in studio to explain why city leaders say they are ready. Jordan.
Erica, after 20-plus years, Mardi Gras left Port Arthur, and now Beaumont gets their chance to host a major festival, and they're hoping to make the most of it. Mardi Gras Southeast Texas officials have spent the past several months working with the city of Beaumont about the logistics surrounding the 4-day festival, which is being held at the Event Center in February. 12 News has learned that there will be 3 main entrances located along Natchez, Crockett, and Magnolia. Mardi Gras officials are happy that the festival stayed in the region.
Lots of Mardi Gras across the South, but Mardi Gras Southeast Texas is truly family friendly. You can take your kids to the parade, you can take your grandmother to the parade. I think that's important to this area, that we have something where families can come together and have a good time.
For those wondering about parking, there are several options near the event center that will be used as parking. Tickets will go on sale online here in the coming weeks. If you can't wait, you can go to the Mardi Gras store in Port Arthur. Jordan James, 12 News.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Developing tonight, police in Orange are looking for a man accused of attempting to steal beer and then getting into a fight with a store clerk. It happened at the Gulf gas station on the 300 block of North Lutcher Drive around 7 Wednesday morning. The clerk says a man walked into the store and went straight to the beer cooler. 7 in the morning. She told him it was too early to sell beer. But the man cracked open a bottle of beer, and the clerk tried to stop the man, and then the two got into a fight. The man took off running towards Simmons Drive. At least 4 people in Beaumont are dealing with damaged cars today because of people who rang in the new year with guns. Car owners on Magnolia Avenue, Park Street, Betts Lane, and Earl Street have all filed police reports after finding bullet holes in their cars. Unfortunately, officers say these reports are common to see days after New Year's Eve. We are tracking a developing story in Spring. A clinic is warning patients they could be exposed to bacterial meningitis after a child who was treated there for the illness died. The Express Family Clinic saying anyone who was there between 9:30 and 10:30 Monday could be at risk. The little boy just turned 5 years old. The most common symptoms of bacterial meningitis are high fever, headache, and stiff neck. Another Democratic candidate has ended his campaign. Julian Castro announced he's dropping out today. Meanwhile, as ABC's Serena Marshall shows us, some candidates have raked in millions.
It's where my mother.
With a month to go until the Iowa caucus, the Democratic presidential field shrunk again.
Given the circumstances of this campaign season, I've determined that it simply isn't our time.
In a video release, the former Obama Housing Secretary Julian Castro dropping out of the 2020 race, Castro failing to garner enough support in the polls or raise enough money to make recent Democratic debates. One of those near the top of the polls is Senator Bernie Sanders. His campaign announced a massive $34.5 million fundraising haul, one of the biggest quarterly campaign amounts by any presidential campaign.
So our job together is to create an economy that works for all.
Other frontrunners also putting out their fundraising totals. Pete Buttigieg, whose tenure as mayor of South Bend, Indiana, ended yesterday, raised $24.7 million. Former Vice President Joe Biden with his best quarter to date, bringing in $22.7 million. And Senator Elizabeth Warren announced last week that she had raised at least $17 million towards her $20 million goal for the last quarter.
We know how to make government work for the people.
Warren campaigned today in New Hampshire, but other Democrats descending on Iowa.
We have to put a candidate at the top of the ticket with a proven record of bringing people with her.
Senator Klobuchar is one of 5 candidates with one eye on the campaign trail and another on Washington. The timing of the Senate impeachment trial expected to force them back to Capitol Hill to serve as jurors, as well as Biden, who could be called as a witness if President Trump gets his way.
It's about the American people, what they want in a president.
13 of the remaining 14 Democrats running for president filed with the Nevada Democratic Party for that state's February caucus. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg failed to file by the January 1st deadline. His campaign putting all their hopes on Super Tuesday. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, at a rally in Iowa, candidate Joe Biden said he would consider former President Obama for a position on the Supreme Court. If Biden wins and if Obama agrees, he would be the only second former president to serve on the high court. The first was President William Taft. Next, check your driver's license. You'll need a little star added to your ID in order to take a flight.
A blast from the past, how a Goodwill find bonded 2 generations. Plus, ready, set, shoot, where lawmakers are suggesting elementary school children learn how to handle guns. It feels so good to be back with you, Patty.
I have missed you.
Have you?
It's been, how long have we been together?
How much have you missed me?
A lot. Probably too much.
Oh my goodness, it's been the holiday season, so you know folks have been taking vacations,
Sure.
getting some much needed time with family and friends, and just so happy to be back. Happy New Year, Southeast Texas.
Happy New Year.
I am Dejanique Garrison. This is Patty Fresh, and we are here on the beat. So give me a highlight of the holiday.
Connor got a drone.
Oh, wow. He's big time now.
Oh, yeah. Well, time out. Daddy has to figure out how this contraption works so that he can teach Connor.
Okay.
So we've only had one day that we could get together and do it because the winds are a big factor in it. And so, you know, you don't want to take a chance of getting lost up in a tree or losing contact with it, and then, you know, you're out
But he's pretty excited about it.
Oh, he is. But, you know, I took a picture of him from the drone up in the sky, and it was so precious.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, we all had a good Christmas.
We are glad to hear that. You know, I think there are some other folks that are pretty excited too, the Cowboys fans. There is a new coach in town. The Dallas Cowboys have signed Mike McCarthy. Now, his former gig was the Green Bay Packers coach. This big change all happened in about 24 hours. So America's team officially let Jason Garrett go, and then they rolled out the welcome mat for his replacement. According to reports, McCarthy was interviewing for this role over the weekend. He coached the Packers from 2006 to 2018 and even took the team to the Super Bowl back in 2010. The Cowboys started second-guessing Garrett after the team fell short this season, not making it to the playoffs. So with McCarthy's experience in the game, a lot of Cowboys fans are just really crossing their fingers, hoping that he is the missing piece of the puzzle to turn things around for this team. And we want to hear from you, Southeast Texas. Do you think Mike McCarthy can return the Cowboys to the Super Bowl? Yes? No? Or time will tell. You can go ahead and vote on your 12 News Now app, or of course you can vote on the website, 12newsnow.com/vote. I don't have a dog in this fight.
I was just going to say the same dadgum word. I don't have a dog in this hunt. I'm a Texan fan, and, you know, hello, why aren't we talking about the Texans?
And they had a big win. They had a big win. My Saints, unfortunately, had a heartbreaking,
oh my goodness.
soul-crushing loss yesterday to the Vikings. But the Texans, you're right, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, they're going to go play the Chiefs, I believe, coming up this weekend.
But I do think that, you know, Cowboys being America's team, a lot of eyes were on the Cowboys this season. Because, well, a lot of people in Texas are big fans.
There's a lot of Texan fans in Texas.
A lot of Texan. Okay, so I feel a vibe here. Do you feel like the media coverage is not evenly distributed?
Absolutely.
Oh, we hit
we
a
have
a
team in the playoffs right now.
And all we're talking about is a coach.
And we're talking about a team that just got a coach. Big deal.
We'll see what happens. So we should have added another option. I don't care. That would have been bad. But what do you guys think? Go ahead and vote now. Taking a look at today's headlines, here's your know on the go. Number 1. 6 days into the new year, and Beaumont police are already reporting dozens of shootings. Now, thankfully, none of these have been fatal, but unrest is starting to grow throughout the community. Now, police are encouraging people to speak up if they have any info about the crime. Now, a 2018 report from the FBI found that Beaumont had more violent crimes than Houston per capita. Number 2, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office is looking for a suspect wanted in a bank robbery. It happened just west of Beaumont. Police say a man went into the Common Sense Federal Credit Union down Smith Road with a gun. No one was hurt, but investigators are taking a closer look at the surveillance video for more information. Number 3. In Port Arthur, police are investigating an aggravated robbery at a gas station. It happened this morning just after 5 at the Shell on Memorial Boulevard. Police say a man wearing all black and a mask threatened the clerk, demanding money. Once he got the cash, he took off. So if you know anything about this, please call Crime Stoppers. That number, 833-TIPS. Number 4. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton says he's willing to testify in a Senate impeachment trial if he's subpoenaed. Now, this is a change in tone after Bolton previously said he wasn't going to cooperate with the House Intelligence Committee during its impeachment investigation unless a judge ordered him to defy the White House. Now, lawmakers are waiting for House Democrats to transfer the articles of impeachment to the Senate. And number 5, tensions are escalating between the U.S. and Iran. President Trump and Iranian officials have been dangerously trading threats of war. President Trump tweeted over the weekend that the U.S. has 52 targets identified, including cultural sites in Iran. Now, targeting those sites would violate several international treaties and could be considered a war crime. You know, can't complain too much about the weather today, but we were talking earlier, it's going to be a lot of back and forth,
Yeah,
right?
It looks like over the next 10 days, we'll see 4 cold fronts and 3 warm fronts, and maybe a spat of severe weather mixed in, too.
Whoa.
A lot going on. Going to be a very changeable weather pattern across southeast Texas. Right now, we're looking at partly sunny skies out there, nothing on radar. Very warm day. High temperatures have been into the lower and middle 70s, about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Now, fast forward into Friday night into Saturday morning. There's a 15 to 30% chance of severe weather. A lot of rotational energy and a lot of shear and instability could warrant the potential for severe weather coming up overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning. This evening looks like a banner evening with temperatures falling into the lower 60s by 9 p.m. This is ahead of a cold front. It'll sweep through the area rain-free for the most part, and we should see some nice days coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday. Details on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, the power of the internet is so real. This story starts with a fella named Jim. He brought a VCR from the Goodwill. It was just outside of Austin. I don't know what he wanted with a VCR. Maybe nostalgia.
I still have a VCR.
I bet you do. So look, he takes this VCR home and he finds a VHS inside, and it's this. It's a baby's first steps, right?
Oh my gosh.
So cute. Written on the tape, it had a date. It says September 27, 1994. So that means that little baby walking was probably about 25 years old today. So Jim decided to post this video on Facebook. He shared it on social media. It got shared thousands of times. And guess what? Someone named Tyree saw the video. Tyree is the baby in this video. So he calls Jim. He says, hey, I think that's me. He gives the tape back to Tyree. All's well that ends well.
That is total gold right there.
Look at his brother, like, come on, come on.
Awesome family time.
And, you know, and this is something that you don't want to lose.
You bet. I imagine that was just a total mistake.
Right.
You got to get that back to the proper folks there, and it looks like that happened.
I know. So we talk a lot about some of the weird and spooky things that happen on the internet, but this just goes to show you can use the tool in the right way, and it can make magic happen. So this is a happy ending.
I imagine they are just tickled pink to be able to get that back.
I love it. Now, check this out. Elementary safety classes, not just about running with scissors anymore. We're going to go to Richmond, Virginia, where a senator is introducing a bill that would require schools to teach firearm safety. If this bill passes, school boards in the Commonwealth would have to offer a minimum of 2 hours of firearm safety instruction. Now, for elementary school kids, the classes would have to be taught by a school resource officer, a law enforcement officer, or a U.S. Armed Forces instructor. Now, I know some of you are kind of giving a side eye. If you're worried about the safety of students, no real guns or weapons are going to be used in this program. It's just to teach them what to do when they come across them, how to properly handle them. And I'm really interested on your take with this one, just because you have a school-age child. Is this something that makes you comfortable, or is it a little
I don't have a problem with it. I think that, you know, kids need to know what they should do if they should find a gun, you know? Do they play with it? Do they pick it up? Do they even touch it? What do we want them to do if they should come across a gun? I don't think that's a bad... Education is always a good thing.
And, you know, in our area, in the headlines, you know, past couple of days, we've seen some accidental shootings from kids getting their hands on guns. And so I do think there is a component of this that would be very beneficial. I think the curriculum would have to be very specific and detailed, and parents would have to have some clear communication.
Age-specific, too.
Absolutely. So I think it can be done the right way.
We don't want elementary kids learning how to use AR-15s.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I think when you're talking about an elementary kid, you know, if they find a gun, what do? Do you go tell mommy and daddy, or what? That's what we want.
All right. Well, coming up, we're going to beauty school on Makeup Monday, where you can get your cosmetology certificate next.